Welcome to our executive interview series at the UiPath on Tour Public Sector Summit produced by FedScoop. I'm Wyatt Cash, and we're here with Shawn Lennon, Deputy Director and Deputy CFO for the Defense Logistics Agency. Shawn, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I'd like to start by asking, from your perspective, what are the most significant cultural or organizational shifts that are required to really integrate and scale automation initiatives within government agencies generally, or maybe more specifically at the Defense Logistics Agency?
Yeah, absolutely. The biggest thing that we're doing is one big change management exercise, right? Changing the way that the Department of Defense or any of its individual components has done things, and finding new and better ways, not just to automate the way we do things, but to completely redesign our processes and think more about outcomes. That's a really significant cultural shift in the way that we've historically thought about automation. A lot of the times that I've thought of experience that I've had is coming in and say, okay, here's my process, here are the 82 steps that I do, and automate it, put it in the system so that I can do all the same things the way that I've done it, but just have it digitized. Well, that's not going to work anymore because that doesn't actually improve our effectiveness or our efficiency. So it's looking at what is the end of the day product that I need to get out of this, and how can I minimize the amount of steps in this process to get to those outcomes. And that really is, like I said, a change management exercise, and everybody you're talking to and making sure they understand that that's a perspective you're coming from, not that you're trying to move their cheese on purpose to disturb how they do things, but to make their days better. It's not about making it more difficult for people. It's saying, hey, how do I take the things that are causing so much of the things that you don't like doing at your job and just allowing you to focus on achieving the results, which is why you come in every day.
Absolutely. And then with agentic automation's ability to handle more complex end-to-end tasks, what new possibilities do you see that unlocking for your agency that maybe weren't previously attainable?
Yeah, so for my role here at the Defense Logistics Agency, one of the biggest things that we're working on accomplishing is helping the Department of Defense get a clean audit opinion. So the U.S. Marine Corps got its first clean audit opinion last year, its second one recently. We in DLA got an audit opinion on our transaction fund, which is where we have our stockpile material, just a few months ago. It was the very first audit opinion in the DLA history, which was a huge accomplishment. But in order to support the Department of Defense as a whole and the DLA Working Capital Fund, which spends about $50 billion a year and earns the same, what we're doing is looking at how do we leverage as much technology as possible to achieve that outcome, right? So whether it's pure automation and what we're doing today in scaling, which is retrieving documents that our auditors request and getting it back to them faster with less hours, but also how do we get access to the source documentation that's created, our contracts, our intergovernmental agreements, our payroll, all the things that create the accounting events, making that available, running AI on those documents, looking for the key fields, because you might have a 100-page contract, but I only need this field on page 3 and this field on page 7. AI can pull those documents out, those data fields out, reconcile it to our accounting events, and then present it to our accountant to say, okay, I ran it for these 1,000 transactions. Here are the 2 things that I found wrong that you have to fix or explain, and then you can push a button to hand it to the auditor. That's the way we're going to pass the clean audit opinion. The data's there. It's just a matter of supporting those transactions and those balances in our financial statements. And that's oversimplifying things, but that's the type of technology that we're going to use to get there.
Well, I know it's complicated, and congratulations on actually getting that clean audit. That's a major milestone for you all, so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Shawn Lennon, thank you for taking a few minutes to kind of illustrate how AI is evolving at the Defense Logistics Agency, and for just joining us here at the UiPath On Tour Public Sector Summit.
Thank you. Glad to be here.